All right guys, Joe with Hunt Fish Shoot. Today for our review, we've got the brand new Hoyt Ventum 30. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and also ring that bell for notifications for future videos. All right guys, here's the brand new Hoyt Ventum 30. Just to run through some specs on this bow is going to be 30 inches axle to axle. It's 4.6 pounds. The draw length ranges from 25 inches to 30 inches, and your draw weight is going to go from 30 pounds all the way up to 80 pounds. So you've got a lot of versatility with this bow. So truthfully, I haven't shot a Hoyt for several years. I haven't owned one for several years. I think the last one that I shot was probably one of the Ultra series, probably from a few years back. And they just never, in the last probably 5 or 6 years, have really impressed me at all. So when they came out with this new Ventum 30, I was actually pretty excited because they did some things that I thought were really cool. So let's start kind of their main driving force, which is going to be their new cam system. This new cam system is the HBX Cam. So basically, Hoyt is always known for their yoke tuning, which I really wish they kind of didn't get rid of. Basically, yoke tuning, you're going to run 2 yokes on each side of your axle, and that's how you can tune the bow for paper tuning. Now they've gone to more of a binary style cam, which basically everyone in the industry at this point has gone to that style of cam. So it's really not that out of the ordinary. But this new cam is super smooth. It's shooting speeds up to 343 feet per second. And they are very smooth. The first initial probably 7-8 inches of the draw cycle it's smooth, but it kind of humps up a little bit, and then it dumps off after that, and that last dump is extremely smooth. One of the other points I want to talk about that's important to me, who likes to tinker with bows, is the cams themselves have very deep grooves. So when you're tuning and you're putting your bow on your press and you're taking it off your press, it's a lot easier to make sure that your strings are inside of the groove on the cam. I'm a PSE fan, and I've owned PSEs for a long time, and the one thing I don't like about the PSEs is the grooves on their cams are very shallow, which these are super deep, which I like. The next feature that they did is, I'll move my sight here so we can see it better, is the picatinny rail that they put on here so you can mount your sight right to the front of the riser. The positives and the good things that I see about that are you're going to be able to run your sight directly in line with the riser, which I think is super important. I really have shot carbon bows the last 4 or 5 years. Strictly the fact is they're light. I can run a quiver on them, and they feel good with a quiver all the time. And I do a lot of Western hunting, so I like a light bow. But part of the reason was they felt more balanced to me. And I think with this new system, with this picatinny rail that they're running on the front, I think that everything's going to stay more in line. You're going to be able to get your quiver tighter to the bow, which is going to be nice. The other thing they did is they put in the riser a spot for the new integrate rest. PSE has done that this year. Mathews has done it for the last 2 or 3 years. And basically what that is, you're going to have a mounting spot for the Ultra Rest Integrate by QAD. And basically that's going to keep everything tight, just like the picatinny rail system is going to do for your sight. Keeps everything right in line. The next thing that they did with this bow, which I also like, because I used to run a lot of stabilizers. I used to run back bars. I used to load my front bar up, load my back bar up. Now I don't do any of that. I run basically the shortest stabilizer that I think I can get away with. So these new Hoyts are going to come with this 2.5-inch stabilizer right here with 4 ounces on it. And they basically took that and moved all the center of gravity to basically the bottom of the bow. And just shooting it outside today, and I've shot it probably at 30 yards, it feels way better than some of their other bows. And actually it feels better than even some of my PSEs with the way that they've got it weighted. So basically you can keep the weight down and you're still not giving anything away with not having your stabilizer mounted up here. You're taking away weight where you could use it in other places. In this case, they're going to put it down low for low center of gravity, And I think it works. I think it's a sweet system. And that's gonna come stock on the bow, so you get that. So in turn, you're also gonna get, basically you're gonna be able to save money by not having to buy a stabilizer if you think this is sufficient enough for your bow stabilization. Probably the negative on this bow and some of the Hoyts in the last 3 or 4 years is their price has kind of gone through the roof. This bow right now, just as an aluminum bow, I think is $1,200. Basically out the door on these, you're gonna be looking probably with the integrate rests in the $1,400 range, which is pretty expensive for an aluminum bow. But overall, the bow is super smooth. On the shot, it's smooth. Today, we're gonna do a speed test for you. I believe with the 430 grain arrow. We're also gonna do a sound test, and we're gonna match that up to the Mathews V3 and see which bow is more quiet. So let's get right into that. All right, guys, the first test on the new Ventum 30 is gonna be the speed test. We are shooting this bow at 67 pounds, 28.5 inches, and a 430 grain arrow. Just as a disclaimer, I did not put this bow on a draw board, and I measured the weight of the bow with my last chance archery scale. So let's get in the speed test. All right, guys, we're set up on the chronograph right now, and I'm standing right now about 4 foot from the chronograph. So let's see what we get speed-wise here. Again, this is 28.5 inches, 430 grains at 67 pounds. .284. Which is pretty solid, actually. The draw cycle on this bow is very smooth. That's the ER2 speed. That's exactly what you want. .286, so it's pretty consistent, really. So we've got 284, I believe, and 286. So that's pretty good with a 430 grain arrow, with someone who's kind of got T-Rex arms at 28.5 inches, which I fluctuate between 29 and 28, depending on the bow. But that's pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with that. So let's get right into the sound test. We're going to grab the Mathews V3, and then we're going to see which bow is louder. All right, guys, our next test is going to be the sound test. As another disclaimer, the Hoyt is going to be 3 pounds heavier than the Mathews is. My Mathews is at 64 pounds, but we're using the same 430 grain Black Eagle Spartan. So let's see what we got. And you're going to see some noise right now on it. Basically, that's just me talking and the ambient noise, but when it spikes is how you'll tell. That read 101.1. We'll do 2 arrows apiece. .101.2. So let me grab those arrows, and then we're going to shoot the V3. It's going to be 102.1. And both bows on both tests is the same distance away from the microphone. I have no idea what the thing's called. .103.4. So technically the Hoyt is going to be the quieter of the two. Now whether that makes any real difference, honestly, I really don't know. I would say no, but you know, 0.1 or 1, I don't think it makes any bit of difference, to be honest with you. But the Hoyt, by actually these standards, is actually the quieter of the two bows. All right, guys, the last thing we're going to do in the review today, we're just going to walk you through the draw cycle and how it feels to me, and then kind of give you guys that feel of it, and then also kind of the feel on the shot, which I've already kind of touched on and said how smooth it was. So we've basically done the speed test and we've done how quiet the bow is. Now let's kind of walk you through this. So the initial draw is, it's a little bit stiff up front, and then right there it dumps into the back and it is smooth. And one thing I can say about this bow between, say, the V3 and this, which the V3 is the 27-inch model, so this has got 3 inches of axle to axle on it, but the V3 actually probably has a longer riser than this does. I would say between the two, this is a much easier bow to shoot than the V3 is. The V3, I really had to work with it to kind of get it to shoot how I wanted to and learn kind of the different hold on it and what I need to do. With this bow, just kind of right out of the box, it's just holding like a rock. So I'm super impressed with this thing, I really am. I probably haven't been this impressed with a bow for a long time out of Hoyt. I always like my PSEs, I still love my carbon, but this bow is a serious contender. I mean, it shoots good and it holds. So again, we're gonna be a little bit tough, and then boom, it dumps into there. And right now I've got this bow set up at the 85% let off module. You can also adjust it down to the 80% if you'd like. But it feels really good, actually, 85%, and usually I've got to dial that down. So really that's going to be the extent of our review today. I think that if you guys are in the market for a new bow, this new Hoyt Ventum 30 is going to be a fantastic choice. I think it is one of the best bows to come out in a long time, and I say that across the board from all the bow manufacturers. I really think it's that nice. So if you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave us a comment. Let us know if you'd like to see any more reviews on different bows. So thanks for watching.